Okay, I want to apologize for that break the way we get. I actually no able for dictate within the actual problem to this thing we can happen so. But we're very much sorry. We're very much sorry that we get a break. We go straight with we guest and begin for look at the different story them where we get inside the different front page of the newspaper then. As we already don't, highlight them all. So let me start with the first one. We now the see for the media, and of course, my guest for the program this morning, he named now Lawrence Williams. Lawrence, of course, not a stranger. Now the head man for Freedom Post. We always done the day with we inside the program. For let we discuss different issues. Then, Lawrence, good morning and welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning and good morning to viewers on Facebook and YouTube across the globe.
All right. One more time, I want to say sorry that we get a break there. So, Lawrence, let me go again. Let me begin with different paper. And the first one are the see for the media. We get this big headline where he basically they ask say, if he wonder if something actually they like read exactly waiting at the words they were in use. He say, is there something they are not telling us? Why is Arise IPP insisting on rail and port contracts? So, it's like it is suspect something from this particular contract. What do you think of this story?
I think that's a valid question. I mean, a very valid question. In fact, another valid question can also be on what legal basis did the government of Sierra Leone terminate the port and rail contract or agreement with Kingo? So, especially when the kind zest, the kind of way government seem for the rush into this thing and the media hype and everything. Now, it's good for people to get investors then. Nobody not go say Salon no wants investors. We did need investors. We do need investors. We also need credible investors. And Arise IIP, of course, from the findings of the colleagues that we visit the operational areas like Gabon and Benin. They come and give a very good report about the investment of Arise IIP in their country. The Arise IIP are made to understand, say, even they get clothing factory and some other, they into agriculture and plenty other things there. So that question we Marcos asks, we see for the media asks like that. A very valid question. If actually these guys are really interested to grow Salon's economy, if they are really interested for creating massive employment opportunities and provide, and give upskill we young people and we entrepreneurs then. Why not thinking about, okay, let we come with clothing factory in a salon? Then it can address a lot of, the poverty challenges so they get. You can imagine if now being clothing factory then decides of a local establishment as salon, how many jobs it will provide for young people, the kind training where young people will gain. The benefit to the country, because now we go to export finished products, where they don't make the clothes. We go there now as a hub for the export clothes them now West Africa. So for me that's a valid question. In fact, another thing again, another thoughts with the economy mind. We are getting close to elections, and we see a situation where the government they illegally terminate a contract, then a breach of contract in the very first instance. And the government not get any legal basis for doing what they do so, because the terms and conditions of the agreement with Kingo can go not breach or violate any of those terms and conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I mean to understand say King go, they don't file a complaint where they ask for a compensation and what have you, so they don't invest all the money they don't invest for develop the ports and rail and everything, government for reform. It's huge money where I don't think say government or salon get that money, they already get it from together kind of company. So when you see governments they move with the kind of zest and do something illegally what they're not supposed to do, then it begs one question. I mean, just thinking just thinking aloud.
Mm.
Let not be say arise IIP na they can for can finance SLPP in campaign. That's another valid question. Is it that are they coming as financiers of the SLPP campaign or the re-election of Julius Madabio? Because some of these actions, I mean, reasonable mind, they tell you say, it's not correct.
Because we see them, they go the extra mile again. They even take journalists them, but couple journalists they go with them, say let them go watch waiting and they do other side for time and can't explain, let people understand. All of them things then they then just do extraordinary things then.
Yeah, for me, I don't have problem with taking our colleagues for go see the operational areas or what have you. I don't have any problem with that. I mean, even as Salon said, some companies and we can do it. Take journalists then for go see what they do now up country and blah blah blah. But this instance now, this can we the
Government.
the yange, you know, Western parties arise and everything. And all of this way government to do so, parliaments now they get the last drama. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you cannot hand over the facility to arise IIP if the agreements not go through parliament. I doubt whether we MPs them get the balls for challenge this decision of the government and vote nay against the agreement we government will finally get for parliament. The reason being is that we are getting close to elections. They all need money for go campaign or what have you. So the aspect of lobbying parliamentarians or lobbying parliament will get for take center stage. And if you see the company they spend so much way, that's not kind of reassure it, they will be ready to even spend more than that when it gets to that level of, you know, getting parliament to ratify the agreement. But the very important thing we need for know, and what I want family for know is that there is an existing contract with China can go. And the manner or the grounds on which government terminates that contract are very, very vague and not clear and not legal. There is no legal basis for the government to take that particular action. We means say, one, if you don't terminate SL mine in a contract, you bring Cam Kingu. Now Kingu don't take over all thing, you come back again, terminate Kingu the contract with in relation to the operations and the maintenance and the running of the port and rail for another company.
So like what you basically say, you know, in as much as
that the government
in as much as consequence day for terminating old contracts, the government not seem for be cared, you know, but rather than just want for push for you know, arise IPP come in the play. You know, like you don't say a lot of people as well they look at that particular thing. It might be say, well, na suspicion, say like the arise actually they come for fund the SLPP then campaign and the election. So like they just care about what they can benefit and not what the country can benefit.
Yeah, that's not a suspicion. That's not a suspicion. And those questions for me, I would love to see Parliament, you know, summoning the Minister of Mines for go and put some of these questions to them for clarification. They really need for call on the Minister of Mines because I mean this thing is getting to a level where it even results in a diplomatic strain between Sierra Leone and China. Mind you, Kingo Group, a Chinese company, and we all know the kind of relationship with it between Sierra Leone and China. So if you are doing some of these things, then it will have a telling impact on the diplomatic ties between the two countries and also Chinese investment or future Chinese investment in Sierra Leone. Because, I mean, if you move for illegally terminate the contract, a company's contract, I mean, you breach the agreement, still when you don't do similar thing to SL mining, you see the kind cost, the huge cost where it cost government, where SM mining Salongo na court, international court, and Salongo hire one law firm oversee for first case. At the end of the day, they requested for out of court settlements, and up to now, Salongo for paid a law firm. I think it was late last year, the last quarter of 2022, wherein Reuters news agency, international news agency, we published something on Sierra Leone who they said legal firm about.
All right. The program where you watch it now,
$8 million.
Yeah.
In the matter between GOS government and that of SL mining. So all of them things, that's why was a huge embarrassment for the government of Sierra Leone. And then they brought them back out of court settlements and out from went they called Marampa mines and what have you. Then you now terminate the company where you bring come, where you do all kind of things for, let us say, go take over outside SM mining the day, you bring can and China can go, blah, 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 make all kind of them come and give them the place, ratify the agreement and everything. Now you don't terminate part of that agreement, they will get for do with the port and the rail. You know, the operations of the port and the rail.
So waiting at the problem for say, and by the way, let's just make correction. The thing, if somebody say they call her IPP, if I do so a mistake, IIP, yeah. So if I do so a mistake, so waiting at the problem with the government is it that they not the watch agreements proper one, or I don't even know waiting make them the give a contract and terminate part or all contract.
One, it tells you that the government of Sierra Leone is not a reliable partner when it comes to investment. I'm telling you for a fact. Because
so this is impact when this go get for me for we investment. Where other companies then go to watch, then things that they happen.
And one thing for know, investors they get their own meeting point.
Yes, they get common ground.
Where they discuss some of these issues. And so the thing is that, I mean, some of them things here, they scare real investors from coming into the country. They scare real investors, credible investors. Now that makes some tell with the strain so they suffer soon at this country. Because many a times now, so them fly by night companies there with the attract. Where they can get out, they forget that they're fooled up. Say when they not will make profit, and all with this, and all with that. At the end of the day, what governments will get, I mean, the actual money they're gonna be consolidated fund, not just pittance. So, I mean, this comedian say that story is not clear. This story, really not clear. I mean, what does the government stand to gain in its actions, illegal actions for terminating the contract between governments of Sierra Leone? I went down the long-term implications, not only for the China-Sino relationship, but also long-term implications for other possible investment opportunities where Salone for attract. So it has a lot. It has a lot. There's a lot to talk about, and I'm so happy that see for the US see the front page this morning. I laugh. I just smile. Say, yeah, Imana is asking a very valid question. What is it that they are not telling us? What in their way hide under the carpet when they no one talk? Something is definitely happening that they don't want us to know about.
Now only Nef go know waiting the inside yams. Anyway, so let's go to another issue quickly, and we'll go to the Independent Observer. We get this story where they say, "I will deliver for Sierra Leone." This now Ambassador Omigoli. I find out something. A few months ago, Omigoli came with this project, say agricultural for begin produce rice and other things. And just within the twinkle of an eye, it declare for become flag bearer of the opposition and say one for rule the country. So waiting at this thing about business people or salon investors them and politics.
I know say salon investors because it's not for me not to investor. I know say businessman is not a businessman. For me, I see him as a politician. He used that as a strategy or conduit for enter inside national politics. Of course, you don't deny, how some politicians can be. Say some way election they can. I think the bridge we don't dey 30 years today. If they pass the 30 years today, we don't collapse. You don't ever see need for rehabilitate that bridge. When one go sign, we want let them recognize her and one declare for position, one stand for position, one contest for what have you. You see, grab no more now. And they talk to you see they can make this bridge. get a problem, make fine fear and everything. You come out, you see, they go paint community center. You come out, you see, they mobilize youth man there, say that they can clean the gutter and clean the community. They go publicize that at television, call media house and everything. Say that it contribute to national development. Yes, you can see it from that aspect. But what's the ulterior motive? The ulterior motive, why are you doing that? All this while you not be do that. All this while you have not been doing that. So the question is, why now? It's obvious. You want power. You want to contest for elections. You want to be recognized, recognizable. You want to be a recognizable member in your political party. So it's obvious that these, not only him, but you get so many others that are into such way they can use their approaches, then they, for like get our support, for mobilize support for their own election, for their own election purposes. They can also use that in plain terms, or to be blunt, they can use that for full people and for say, oh, this guy elect with way they call elect with, but all this while. See, the best way to measure or determine their truthfulness behind some of these actions, the way that they do, now where election would not done, they lost. When you lost election, that's the way we don't start for you can't continue and finish them.
All of them projects and then they lost.
Can't continue. How many people been going to different community development projects prior to 2018 elections? From then 2017, and then October, now they do this, then they do that, then they do election car, we see some man lost, we some man go. Past now they see some man they appear 1-1. So, I mean, gone are the days when people fool people because they want to attain self-actualization. They want to reach the highest height in politics. They want to acquire political office. Gone are those days. I can tell you, Professor Lumumba, who is one of my inspirators, he say the thing about African politics is that the politicians think that the people don't think. He say, at the time when the people regain consciousness, they can take decision where that poor last day, now they kill the politician. They tell you if you say, okay, this is your magic moment, that's when they can vote against you. That's when they can vote against you en masse. Now we see what's happening in Nigeria, for example. We see the Labour Party. We see how it don't mobilize youth them, how youth them they gravitate towards the Labour Party and say it's enough is enough. I call them Atiku and party or the other one back who they don't talk with them. And those two parties are the traditional parties there in Nigeria. So you see how like the Nigerian the politics there's a paradigm shift. I mean, in terms of the voting population, also they lean towards. And Nigeria gets a very vibrant, youthful population. When they therefore determine who wins that election. So the election is tightly contested, yet the youth they don't declare support for somebody else. that tells you they don't emancipate themselves from that slavery way, that mental slavery way the politician or the traditional parties, they don't put them in for many years. That time will come in Sierra Leone. And we dey pray that time, if it not happen this year itself, but let it happen very soon. Where you, even in the inside villages them, people don't just come out and dance and clap and eat and sing and vote because of color, because of tribe, because of region.
Okay.
We believe me, that's not my prayer. That is one thing I hope to see happen. That change that I want to see happen at Salone. That's why many a times when I engage in the media, I do it with passion. With passion. Because we need for changing things there. Somebody is coming on the eve of elections and say, they can't do this, do this, do this, do this. Ask her, why is it all along? And not bad. If somebody can't development, they embrace her. Embrace her. But that is not sufficient reasons for you to now say, no, go vote for that person. You forget for no. Now make some man, now make thief the bokuna politics, because some man, it not be ever plan for do the development projects and do. Where you see don't spend with the hope say it go win. If you see mistake, win. Believe me, all what you don't spend at the first thing they 1-5 try for thief pull and back. That is why thieving, sit-down, corruption entrenched in African politics, and Salone in particular. Because we can't near election. Some man they spend some man they spend, I think they get there, them big time projects where they say project where for last them 5 years where they can see they can't do inside 3 months. Usa don't go take debt, Usa don't go take loan, Usa in savings, so in asset pension, everything, all things don't get that they can't pump. Because you know now when they pump money, some man fool. Saloma will not mind. So plenty man and they were waiting for it for 5 years. They prefer to eat it for 1 green day. Then they left now 4 years, 4.5 years, and they are angry.
All right. So let me look at this other paper. When at the AZ newspaper, the AZ newspaper get this story where they say Sierra Leoneans will re-elect President Bio to continue his development. They actually quote the SLPP Secretary General. What do you make up of this?
That's a political statement.
Good.
And you know they expect otherwise from the SLPP National Secretary General. It's obvious. You don't expect her for talk say no vote for Bio, talk anything so far we go get a negative impact on the party or the election of President Bio. And of course, the conference, 13th National Delegate Conference starts to be at the Mintuman, I think at 2 days conference, wherein the theme or the purpose, as from waiting, I don't know from Napoleon and reports, that President Bio, they go present his scorecard to the party membership, when he don't do from 2018 to present day. That day, they appear the party not really aware what the party don't do, or the people in membership, they don't know the kind of work the party do. The thing about development is that anything so far where you do when a development work, or let's say even politics, you will do well in terms of delivering on your mandate, on your manifesto promises. You know the hide. You know the hide.
So why therefore so much concern about telling their own membership about the thing they win and the good things already party don't do? Or what the government they do?
Then I make a talk say, you know the hide. Lumumba make one statement, Professor Lumumba. I so love this guy. He say, when you see politicians come with
pamphlet for can be explain.
Pamphlet. They take 1 hour, they explain what you don't do nothing. You know, do nothing. You know, I love that guy in reasoning. Believe me, my brother. So we not say President Bio no woko. To be frank, President Bio don't do his own bit.
Mm-hmm.
But from my own point of view, my own view is that President Bio largely disappoint this country or fail this country.
How?
2 areas. One, the area of corruption. They failed woefully. Fighting corruption, they failed
but when you see
woefully.
MCC scorecard, where they always make reference to, don't they rank them very high?
Look, TI Transparency International Corruption Perception Index.
Then go as well. Not just say they don't move. It better they stagnated than they reverse.
No, the thing is, we did we not pass. We not pass. That is the most important thing, and we are still rated amongst the most corrupt countries in the world.
So if TI they tell we say we still rated amongst the most corrupt, but MCC they tell we say we
that category they would day.
Yeah, but MCC they tell we say we are amongst the best countries in fighting corruption.
Well, the MCC they say get their own sources where they, draw the sources the way they
use
take information from. Yeah. Likewise, the TI themselves get their own sources. Like Transparency International, they deal with the sources now independent. So they look at World Bank, they look at World Economic Forum, look interview citizens them back as well, and few other sources them. Yeah. We all know say TI, Transparency International, now the globally recognized, now the number one globally recognized organization with the measure corruption perception level na every country. So we can, everybody gets a niche. When it comes to policies and where they call you go talk about the World Bank, when it comes to finance and where you go talk about the IMF, every organization gets a niche. Every organization gets a niche. So the Transparency International, they get that niche. When it comes to human rights, and whether you talk about Amnesty International or Human Rights Watch. So there are lots. Yeah. But the bottom line is not only corruption, bread and butter. The most important thing, the most important concern for millions of Sierra Leoneans them where they live in poverty and impoverishment, bread and butter. How many of us they get 3 square meals a day?
So I've been listening to Imran yesterday, where we've been interview Imran yesterday on this same platform. And they tell we say where we talk about bread and butter, it basically means say how many teachers they don't employ, how many nurses they don't employ, how many, take into consideration the number where they don't employ now and the number where been there before the time. That's not bread and butter.
The African Express published something yesterday or the day before yesterday, but it's this week, wherein they show details of money where the government, where State House or the Office of the President withdraw in 2022 for per diem.
All right. So if I can use Imran in word again, Imran, by the way, let me make people know Imran Silla, na the one of the strategic communicator them, na the strategic communications unit, na the Ministry of Information and Communications. So yesterday again on this same African Express we did for talk about so now, it tell we say they make reference to Cherno and the African Express because according to them Cherno bitter. But the question we are asking, okay, let's say Cherno bitter according to you. But that means say the information them where Cherno or the African Express they give is wrong and not able for answer to that particular thing. They till we left the program. I ask them with they that particular thing, they like 2-3 minutes with it continuously and they go bang and bang with them for ask them, but they still not able for say anything. All they care about Cherno bitter, African Express bitter. So now you make reference to this. How trustworthy you feel say the information then?
Now this I will let people know. Since when the African Express because not today they don't begin corruption crusade.
Yes.
Even in the previous regime,
yes,
they criticize them hard on corruption.
Correct.
But from when they start the corruption crusade on this regime, nobody, whether minister or president, nobody, no ever challenge the authenticity, the fact of the information, the cash withdrawals them where they provide, the details where African Express, nobody not ever able for challenger up to this point. But you see, these are cogent information. The person name where they go withdraw, or the checking number, or the bank code, the this, so every now all bank statements are man they put.
so they're not able for challenger. Instead,
because it cannot be challenged incompatible fact.
Yes, because they're not able to challenge and they go decide for good personal. And when the personal part failed, then decide for ignore. They just make like they not see, they not hear, or they not hear them. Which of course then they hear them.
Let's assume, say Chen or Beta. No assume. No go by the argument.
Yes, so that the assumption that they must
Chen on APC or Chen on this or that. Let's go by that. The information. Listen, the thing about when you read about objectivity in journalism, earlier journalists, Kovac and Rosenthal, they write one book, Elements of Journalism, wherein they make a case against the objectivity of the person. They say the journalist himself may not be objective, but the news, the facts, you for consider, the fact should be objective. So me look at channel, whether channel belongs to side or it not belongs to side.
So this not be the exact thing yesterday. It's like now you did inside the program yesterday, where I be actually put some to them say, okay, let me say channel beta like you say. But what about the information? Wrong? And not correct?
The information not wrong. So now the information I they use for judge the individual, not to whose side the person belong or whether the person bitter or is sweet. Now the information, the thing where the person writes, now they use for judge. And the journalist immediate judge in the public, the court of public opinion, now they judge the journalist in work. So when you see all the cogent facts, you see that there is no prejudice, there is no inherent bias in what the man they write. No, these are cogent facts.
It just depends on both
qualitative comments and everything which is allowed in journalism. You see the man do an aggregate in 2022 alone. They take about up to 70-something billion for per diem. That's a huge amount of money, my brother. For between 20
if I can use the voice of the president, when he be in 3 years tour, he says some people they say how he use 10 billion, 10, 17 billion as you call her, but not just the name. Who do you expect for they pay in transport? Who do you expect for they pay in tickets, in hotel bill, and in per diem? If they go on then trip then they of course not the country and not the country budget. That's exactly what he tell me.
You know, like that. Well, that alone for they show you the level of dishonesty in our politicians, because prior to you taking up office, you condemned all of these practices. That the Kuruma administration, they spend a lot on per diem, overseas traveling, and what have you. I mean, what I've even lost count of the president in travels. Them. Okay. The most travel, in fact, the touristic president today.
And aware of that, but it's like anytime when people ask or talk about something Boku, they come out and give you back talk. You remember the travel back talk, and they continue for fly.
Me brother, believe in me, we they watch news. UK Prime Minister, a Prime Minister of the United Kingdom are making president, nobody fly so. That they check him.
And that's when they get ambassadors.
In Parliament go check him. Because you cannot be spending the state's resources on frivolous travels. Not lie, they put a stop to it. They will definitely put. And South Africa, it will not happen. It will not happen in South Africa. Even Ghana, you see when the inflation rates go up, you see when the citizens they take on the government. You see when they come out and march and protest. Here with inflation don't hit over 30%. Fuel back don't go up again. This BNT back they don't put them back from 19.5 to 18.5 or so to 21.5.
You see, I like for make reference to the interview yesterday night. Basically on this same inflation, the same all of other things, them the same exchange rate. I've been trying to ask the communication strategist again. Say, for example, we money don't depreciate, bad one, and not they compare to the dollar or the pounds or the euro. So the Guinea money don't hit we money like 2 times. We don't go under them like 2 times. We're responsible for that. It begin make mention to the UK, the other side. Say, no, please. When it cap and fuel, una always make mention or reference to Guinea, say, we get cheaper fuel past Guinea. But right now, when it's a way Guinea gets cheaper thing past we, then no one for make reference to that again. Even the Guinea franc and the Leones, where Guinea franc don't get weight past fuel, they no one for make mention of that. They no one for talk about that. So you ask them questions severally, they not go answer down there. Anyway, let's take you to this other paper, similarly on this same issue. On the delegate conference, where basically now the global times, yeah. Listen this, waiting at the theme of this thing where the give it. Global times say the SLPP delegate conference starts today, and the theme now, the theme of this particular one, then say towards a radical transformation. Continue the gains since 2018. So now they say. Then they move towards radical transformation. Now, in 2018, the president, when they say the people want change, the people want democratic change, a change to end their suffering.
I remember that statement.
Yes. So it end up for ask quick question.
From 60,000 to 220,000, people want change.
Yes. So it end up for ask we one question. He say, what change do we want? That question there will not be ever take note of and maybe they ask you that question there. And now that's with Mike say, I know. If I be no, if we don't ask him, what it be actually be mean. Now it don't tell we. Now all of it work in action. They tell you exactly what it be mean. When he ask you that question, they will fail for asking back. So now they don't can give me another one. Say radical transformation. Radical transformation. They in different angle. What in exactly at the radical transformation? For say because if you listen exactly what at the thing he say radical transformation. Continue the gains since 2018. Look at the gains so we don't get 2018. Now the same radical transformation for continue.
My brother, when we started this conversation, I tell you, I reference when Tilumba me say, so we see man they talk, but cool boy don't they miss another that. Because if you have done something, your works should speak for you. For me, the answer to that will be determined by the electorate on June 24. But there is one message me want for saying that regionalism or ethno-regionalism or tribalism or color not decide or determine who that you dey vote for. I think say that political education to a very large extent a lacking in Sierra Leone. And the media no somehow they play that role for fill that gap there. Because the media gets responsibility for explain for conscientize, I will put it that way, the population. But here, I don't blame them to some extent because the media poverty is here and it's hitting and biting deep. But anybody we don't do a saloon, I don't say if you don't go out, they go, you can't make a work holiday, but anybody we don't permanently from 2018 to this present time. Believe in me, Pastor if you serve the benefit from the thief, Pastor if you serve the benefit from the thief. But if not to that, nobody in his right senses, go vote for this kind of sufferness, for no continue past sufferness. Believe me, my brother, nobody in his right. This is not about bringing it. Of course, AYB on Sunday there was one. Professor Emeritus on this past Sunday. he make one comment, and I so agree with him. He said this election is a choiceless election. It means say the voters they don't get choice. We just get two evils for choose from. We not really not get choice. I mean, we like Nigeria, for example, right now the Labour Party don't present itself as a choice to the electorate of Nigeria. For Salone, we not get choice. We just get two evils standing there. But believe me, my brother, the kind way sufferness, the way hunger, poverty don't increase in this country. Look at the reports. Look at the WFP reports. Look at the World Bank report where hunger, angry don't bokuna Salone. Angry don't bokuna this country. That they alone for help you for make a conscious decision, informed decision. It's not about changing what they call Obra. La no lie. Nobody know the one for continue by sufferness. Hello, man, they suffer right now bad. Yes, things can go other country them. But no, look, you compare with health system with Ghana. As much as Ghana inflation there about 50-something%. Ghana na industrialized economy. You know how many the industries they wouldn't at Ghana? The thing they would the export. As much as inflation has risen to about 54% in Ghana, yet they are better than us.
You know, but wait.
Because if
this
you
not be the
now
problem. Not be the thing this way.
Pass with like go Ghana.
This not be the problem. When
if you need a better education, pass you go Ghana. The nearest side will get better education.
So this now waiting this man talk yesterday, man Sila. In as much as when they talk about, he said things stronger at the world, yes too. Even they make mention of UK say right now for us, it water 3 times more than our Italic. You know, a lot of people in the way don't lost job. A lot of people in the way not able to pay for the mortgage. This now for show you how badly the economy then goes. So I ask him, say, okay, in as much as that did happen, but their economy, you know, is more better than we own Nayaso. How you will compare that and why you not compare the one them where we all then at the sub-region and we all they suffer the same way.
Now when Liberia no more for compare. Now when Liberia no more, you know compare Bafpan and stopper. The capacity not be the same. That quantity wave of water or volume of water where Bafpan they carry, not only stopper they carry. If for compare we are UK, that die and sleep. Look at the measures where the UK government take. Even when they cut down on taxes and where they call, you see, last week, UK and Ireland, over 500,000 people. That's over 500,000 people. Where come on and do and protest. These are doctors, these are nurses, these are teachers, these are, drivers. You name them, asking for pay rise. And the government, the UK government has no other option but to grant them their request.
So now you begin to ask, waiting away basic salary way will it take?
The basic salary in one bag rest because now they will buy.
600,000.
The minimum wage is 600,000. If they pay 600,000, now one bag rest no more they buy. Right now the thing that way they kill me in this country, you see, transportation. My brother, the minimum must have spent for transportation.
So all things they go up, but pay not they go up.
You see communication, you see strength, then you see food. In fact, food can number one because if I get money in my hand, I prefer eat there waka go outside go. So food can number one. Everything they expensive go. Every damn thing that expensive. For make lunch in the morning. Yeah. Where you see right now, Monday, where you see they eat 2, 3, 4 days soup. Not a joke. And I'm not even ashamed to say it. Yes. Where you say I don't cook me 2 soup. Boku and I put inside fridge. Then now they eat. Tell the week done. Why you go charm you salad, why you go charm you when they go are satisfied because things are hard. You want to eat good food. Imagine they spend about 400,000 euros because you get for buy fish per mine, you get for buy this, you get for buy that, you get for buy every damn thing don't go up.
more than 150% since 2018 to now. That's huge.
Yeah,
That's
so
huge.
because the
It's
latest
taking its toll on people.
survey in the tell we
It's
say
taking
hunger
its
don't
toll
go
on
up 4
people.
times past in Talek.
People let they suffer. People let, but even their meat right now, their meat 1,000 for one.
One,
Sardine, where you go say, okay,
you mean
if you
one
get
that
to the
means
20
one grade
gram,
one grade seed that
one
means.
one. Where you go say, okay, if things can get you get it 20,000, you buy 2 cup rice, you buy pepper, you buy Maggi, then you buy sardine. Then they go with the call. But right now, you know more sardine. Sardine for one na 15 gram. And the rest now na 3-5 for cup. So 20 gram, you not go for prepare basic dry rice and pepper and Maggi, ton sardine per tablet.
So
Then for leave na salon as kilo.
sardine and pepper not to pomantrop anymore.
I mean,
All right.
look,
So
but the thing is,
the
way the economy don't bad off, even those who were seemingly above the average class, we go say, okay, they're not the middle class citizens in there wire. Because of things don't trigger to the point, then self your class don't drop small. So imagine you are gonna be low class citizen, and don't go down to lower class citizen.
Because I see one UNDP in a report where it's about 0.75 cent when I average person they live on, and then they say now we lucky for getter.
The dollar up to yesterday, the dollar hit about 2,100,000 or 2,150,000 yesterday.
You see?
Businesses are complaining because plenty of the business system, of course, the light on a fit I don't know certain against somebody who they play with the switch. So they have to run on generators. Fuel is costly. So then they are into production where they call the materials where they use they go for the importer. So they spend more 3 times what they supposed for spend because they go for go change forget dollar for go buy. They go for go change for go get dollar for go buy. Then salon again where you sometimes ship something out. Salon is very expensive, now a very expensive destination. When it comes to flights, we get one of the most expensive air tickets in the world. We tickets expensive for Salon, expensive. The tickets when you buy for plane, expensive pass for go Ghana or go Kenya or other where they go. Can you imagine that? When in there, we have expensive so. You are not to Dubai, but we get tickets expensive like for say you are not Dubai. It doesn't make sense. You go for clear goods now, Wataki. Yeah. I meet up businessman where they explain to me. It fed up. So if you don't spend all that, at the end of the day, when they clear your goods now, all the costs then you factor them inside you where they go.
Yes. All right. So let's take a quick one.
It's challenging.
Let's take a quick one to this other issue we get to do with the First Lady. You know, where we see, happen few days ago. This is not exactly what we see. First Lady convoy caught in serious road accident. So in other words, some people they say he actually escaped death. And we see one of the person we first pitched that one day out now the awareness times. And after which we see the First Lady herself talk about how and then serious, trauma, all of them things, and then thank God for in life and other things. And so you follow this particular accident?
Yeah, I read the awareness time story.
So what do you know about this particular thing? Because we even noticed, according to one other piece where I see, then they ask Sylvia why he not talk about the gunshot where they actually fire the conductor, the apprentice, so but they not say anything about that one, then just talk about the accident. So tell me about what do you know as a journalist?
Yeah, so what I know is that a truck driver allegedly lost control, so then claims say a brake failure or what have you. Then the First Lady in convoy in be the car in the opposite direction. The truck driver lost control in the other direction, so he ran into the First Lady in convoy. banged some Muscadet, injured many people. And so far, from what I read in the Awareness Times and some other sources, they only made mention of the truck driver we run into the Firstlady convoy and the personnel that the Firstlady convoy we injured or sustained serious injuries. Some of, I think many of them, or they don't transport, they all come free to for medical treatment and so and that. Initially, nobody, the Awareness Times not even made mention about the state of the driver, or whether the driver was arrested, or whether the driver fled the scene, or what have you. Not until yesterday night, going through social media, some other sources they talk say the driver will be they allege say the driver was shot. So for me, I think that's a concern. One for thank God for the Firstlady in life, that nothing absolutely not happened to her.
Mm-hmm.
Two, one for also wish the personnel in a convoy were injured or sustained serious injuries speedy recovery. Number three, we want for demand, because this is not but we are supposed to be told, and we for know wait who side the driver dey, if you know they when it happened to her, because this now is a matter of police case. It's an accident involving no less a person but the First Lady of the Republic of Sierra Leone, which means the police should come in and investigate the cause of the accident,
Mm-hmm.
for determining whether the claims or purported claims that have been brake failure or have been something else, whether it's true, for they for really get a thorough investigation for bring out or unearth the facts relating to the accident, whether involved the injuries, the driver in condition, in this, even an assessment on the vehicle where the driver began drive, whether it was roadworthy in the very first instance, or whether or not there normal mechanical brake failure which can occur in some cases, or whether it was indeed intentional to run into the convoy of the first day and all of that stuff. So only a police, an independent investigation by the police will bring out all of those facts. But bottom line is, and I'll be asking that question today, probably I'll therefore engage the media one and the police to know, to cross-check whether the driver survived or not. And if he not survive, when it happened to her. I think these are basic things that, it's now the country won't fend self normal. Also, freedom of information is not fully guaranteed. If it were in countries like America or Europe, you will see the 24 hours news channel don't report that incident there. But also here, I also hear some other allegations that nobody was allowed to take photo, nobody was allowed to screen, that the whole entire area was put into fear and panic. People are therefore run here and there and all of that stuff. So the police, not for even wait, but for clear, because especially when they move towards election, I don't see some articles then, some social media, some social media rubbish where they suggest say the driver that be intentional and this, it was planned and what have you. But normally when convoy they move, especially for president in convoy, vice president in convoy, they get 2 motorbikes when they go before for clear. So I don't know whether the first lady self not get that kind that provision on the convoy where they get 2 motorbikes, the winner, the policeman and the soldier that they
the
did
escorts
before.
in there,
Yeah, the escorts. They don't go before. So any obstacle at the road, they're not able for avert them, for prevent them. So when you can pass down a smooth ride they get. Now smooth ride they get. But another thing you get from notice is that we get too many old vehicles in this country, some of which people say are not roadworthy. We don't get systems in place for checks for the roadworthiness of vehicles. Like the South so model, we're gonna model parking ground for car up. The Canaba Broko taxi the way park here and when they run at this road enough funny. So them taxi then they whether the cars or when they claim FBC they reach by contract not taking tire, the engine in tire, it is so they stop.
Some they even want for
they
reverse.
Walk past they go for reverse dangerously, strenuously. Reverse go down back. Then pick up back, boom, 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 you see the car fet, then claim. The boy are not funny. That's why me prefer motorbikes than them taxi them. Because it's risky. The vehicles they're not roadworthy. We get too many vehicles there in this country where now risks. Because you see the ordinary pambody inside. You don't even see the treat. When you boko motkade na we get in this country. We get motkade when are there old time then 2090 something model, early 2000 model. No, in Ghana any motka you don't import motka where don't take past 10 years. Any motka where don't old past 10 years you need import in Ghana. So they have systems. So you see when people can compare, we say, poverty outside, idea that. If you want to do comparative analysis, look at their systems, look at their governance structures. You get me? And see whether it better pass with you or a strong pass with you before you begin to make all some of them what they call teenage. You get countries that go to Guinea, see the roads they within Guinea, see Guinea the road they were big. When they're wide. Yeah, 30 days will still a struggle with roads. 30 days will still a struggle with roads. Go look circular road right now. The streets don't broken as well put her. In the sense that they gallop too many. Too many. One the road, even that highway there. Let me tell you my brother. Ask anybody where they go upline. You get certain side the way they reach. Now the highway. When a speed they go with you, they see if you can see some gallop now there, some pothole now the highway, you go wonder, say if we actually get an institution responsible for road. Because highway now one side, now place where not forget
and
pothole.
this same institution responsible for road maintenance now then they make fuel they go up because they self get percentage into that.
So you see, if you see the kind of pothole, that McKinney highway, you know, in fact, there was a time where even the Firstlady tweeted or posted on Facebook, I read it, where it talks say, McKinney alone, the kind of pothole the way he meets, the way he see, they say McKinney not deserve that. McKinney not deserve that. But the pothole the way at the highway, the pothole the way, it's a risk for everybody where they travel, including the one they within a power. It's a risk. It's a risk.
Okay, so this now one of the since you don't talk about this risk for the one they even within a power, this now one of them. You know, some of them will talk there, you will make mention of the area the way you did. You go for example now Eastern Police that them will talk the way they go up now there. Yes. You see the kind of risk where they pose, you know. SLRSA where they give licensing when then they do vehicle testing, then they see this road this vehicle he actually deserve for dinner street or not. They all sit down and they but they're not just scared. Then they forget say not to just ordinary people use them this particular road, but rather very important personality they as well use this road, just like what happens. So if you watch this trucker, they may say it in a very high speed and then enable for control himself again. Now I make it end up for go find himself in that position where he go hit the convoy of the Firstlady. Imagine now if now other people them nobody cares. You know, nobody not for make news out of farm. Hey, people that don't die, that's it, don't done. But now the first lady involved, we're not happy that he involved, but this now one of the things where you fail for take up responsibility as a government, it will end up for turn by you one day. We're not happy, we're actually not happy and not support the kind of thing will happen, but this now the kind problem where the average citizen face every day, they die in the road and day, but still
I'm glad we bring this up. It's something where the ordinary citizens they suffer from on a daily basis. Accidents and plenty where don't they happen at the highway. And there has been no, investigation. The roads authority or whether it's the police or there should be that team, that unit, specialized unit, where for the investigate the causes of road crashes and provide concrete solution. Of course, the police can pull a road crash report, SLRS,
yes. And plenty thousand they lost their life
from the police union and all of that stuff. But we need a unit for the monitor, they provide recommendations, they act on them things then they. Besides that, even drivers, there is one problem again now with society. We have too many reckless drivers in this country. Too many reckless drivers. What's a reckless driver? Reckless in the literal sense of the word. They observe good signs or symbols, whether they're sabi or they're not sabi. In fact, so they're not good driving.
So you know, I'm blame the police for that as well. You know, I'm blame SLRS, the traffic cop.
Why you give somebody license where you not do?
Okay, so let's tell you something. Let's tell you something where maybe you not notice or maybe you forget. Even that might start to say get checkpoint where police and military did it. The SLRS traffic cop themselves did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even when it is time for let them team up, let motoka like then taxi or don't put for let them team up na the checkpoint. Because of the speedway cam, at some point, then they even can take one can bang the checkpoint. But they not care. All what they care about, then give everything for give them pass. You don't know.
So that's the problem. We get too many reckless drivers there. I tell you, it was last week. Hey, my brother. I take keke for go Shaka Stephen Street, Battle Street Junction. The keke from St. John go past Robert Street. The guy they drive so. The keke, he drive, he don't see the guy lost concentration. I don't know what you mean that the guy might lost concentration. He see the vehicle so guy, he go for go back with, why would he go for go back the way they call? Oh, man, we holla inside the keke. Then we catch up now. He twist the keke where they call. He park. Then one begin cost the other guy. And I say, no, man. As sometimes you might be there. You don't see this thing. This damn vehicle, they almost yards ahead. You the top speed, no more route, they caution you. But he lost concentration. It don't happen again one time back na Christchurch, Pademba Road. There was traffic. That circular road, you know, say policeman and they working then around a roundabout, say they control traffic. The taxi driver, that's where they break their own side, they not call their own side. That man don't sleep that the will. They tell when they call the traffic now. In company, they blow on. The guy was sleeping. The policeman laugh. Now go meet her. He said, oh man, go pack this motor car, let go sleep. Then these drugs again back where people let it take. Believe me, you don't know the state of mind of the driver. So when you sit down in a vehicle or in keke or in a bike, it's also a risk to us, the pedestrians, the passengers, the way they take them in public transport. It's a risk. It's a risk. Particularly there beside the highway, there where they can go sit down and girls, the car park, where they can sit down first, they don't smoke a lot, and what have you. Even the highways, if you get drivers, the way they drive, at the same time, they smoke, they push or they jamba, they take a smoke while driving. So the attitude of drivers then back again, in my view, a whole contributing factor to the high rate of road crashes them or accidents them where they happen at the road. And plenty people they die at the road. It's very sorrowful. It's sorrowful. Now it happened to the Firstlady. That alone, we thank God for in life. We pray that enough of that happen. But we thank God for his life. But that alone for make the First Lady now launch a campaign on road safety. The First Lady now can use this as a springboard, as a motivating factor to lead and champion a campaign on road safety. Because it don't happen to people there, ordinary people there, we don't die away they call, nobody has said anything. Now it has happened to you. Please use this your office now for save hundreds or thousands of lives. Let such things not happen to them. Let such things not happen to them. That's not the only appeal I can make to the First Lady. Lead a road safety campaign because you get the authority, you possess some means of power and charisma for actually, channel left concerns and make authorities them way supposed to act, institutions they were supposed to act, let them get on their toes and begin to do their work. That is what I have to say.
All right. Okay, so lastly, I want to just touch on these issues quickly because I don't see lots of newspaper and they carry this story here. I just want to know what you think. Salon Compass get this one we say banned in Guinea. 24 hours killer energy drink floods Sierra Leone. Standard Bureau. Outside in there. What do you make up of the story?
Yeah, in the first instance, the press release from the Guinean government and everything, I don't get that because Mr. don't they do some research. Because I drink when Mr. be the drink who land either by you. Where I can feel fatigue, where I want to stay long for work, I can buy them. I can buy them brother near office to me. Where is I go no more, I can just tell you, man, give me 124 hour. Now energy drink. So where I see that this day was it on Monday. It got me shocked and me sent for investigate. So I don't get even the news where they report na Guinea, na the Guinean national television and everything. But all day in French. So now the app, one app they don't recommend where I use for translate some. So I can get myself able to see, read, and understand. But bottom line is, of course, they don't ban the drink Nagini. And the reason being, according to the reports published by these papers, that the drink not fit for human consumption. And Nagini that they produce the drink, they only they import in a salon, they sell a can salon for cancel and get markets in a salon where they sell. And the drink they sell warp. I think they even they advertise. But here is a country where nothing seems to be working. I always say this. No for say, hey, so and also I go to talk so again. Some people go vex. Say how you go talk so. But the Standards Bureau, now the institution where government set up, where for test every goods where they come inside the country for make sure say it meets the required standard before they allow them goods and they for go to the market. Not only food, beverages, or what have you, even the electrical appliances there where people they carry it for cancel. The Standards Bureau they for suppose for check them, for suppose for test them, for then get a laboratory for that way for do all the testing they for make sure say it meets the required standard. So somebody no can sell cable, person buy go wire in house, where light cans or tell the cable in copper and not better where they call group the cable born where they call cost person in house born and all that stuff today. That's not the purpose why make them set up the Standards Bureau. But here is the sad part. Some time ago, where they be appointed this Professor Yuma, where they had the Standards Bureau. He made a statement in the usual weekly government press conference. I was there. He said 70%, in fact, I carried that news. I published that news and I get a copy of that paper, now the archive. It says 70% of containers, the way they can report, they escape inspection by Standards Bureau. So then they go through the inspection and the test where they for go through, where they're supposed to go through. Why is that so? And there is this conflict between them and NRA. NRA, they collect revenue. They only focus on collecting their revenue. So once they don't collect the ways they don't collect, once they for collect some of the, they don't pay them dues the way they call. They They not be select the container go, they can just give them green lights for go, fully good step. So there was a time when public concern or public outrage grew about the number of substandard products and food products where they flood the Sierra Leone market. The standards will not come out and say anything. Besides substandard, besides say goods not meet the required standards and when they call the poison and rubbish, the way they sell during at the market, so they buy and eat and everything. The quantity is also another issue. My brother, before now, when you buy that tin pick milk, that cup, that tin pick milk, when you buy them, when you open it full up, when you buy that Ovaltine, that cocoa, when you open them, when they call it full up. But now, the price don't double,
And
then the quantity don't reduce. And nobody seems to be accepting, nobody seems to care about that. There are a lot of, when they come back with concerned with always way, they stamp expired goods them, they go restamp them. Now they do that, they go restamp them. I remember during the lockdown period, with the COVID hit we. After the lockdown, so I meet up one woman, I can sell biscuits and different biscuits there. Don't praise all this in the crap, this is where they call this. So when we get two flavors, then are the same biscuit too. They're going to say juice, orange flavor or pineapple flavor. So now buy the two different flavors. When you say I watch the production dates, now two different production dates they get. Now call you my attention. I say this now restamp and I go restamp. What for make a talk so? That cost that woman cost me not small. Same one well in business. I just take 10 gear in 2 biscuits and back. I collect more. Not all picking wrenching. And other people, them immediately, even at that, they still went ahead and buy because it was cheap. So all this, we are not protected. We are not protected. Now make a man sick now. If he's sick, serious one.
So it begins now.
God no more save you life.
How standard the standard during SSFB for able for know them things and they all. Because I'm not saying sometimes they can go out, then they see they know. I'll tell you something where I know. Standards bureau, consumer protection, they're all then they do the same thing. Most of the time, they know some of them shop they are already expert in and what they do. Where then go they just care about what they can get at the end of the day. Where then get it and go. They don't done. At the inspection on done so. I don't see them several times. We miss every the practice. Anyway, this na big problem inside the country because we country don't sound like a dump site where everybody can just blink away they want for blink inside the country.
But it tells institutions are not working. And what's responsible for that? Now poor governance.
So we not actually get institution them, we get structure. And basically we say structure, the other sense na building. We just get building. And the number we get. So we not get the institution, we for work properly for let things go on, I suppose for go. Anyway, thank you very much, Lawrence. I appreciate the time. Although in the beginning we been get some hiccup, but I'm glad that this whole program till we reach to this point, so we'll not get any hiccup. I want to tell you plenty thank you. You would don't watch the program, you don't like, you don't share, we appreciate you now. In name the guest will be getting inside the program today. In name Lawrence Williams, who is a Tranga man inside this particular program, and in the Edman for Freetown Post. Well, the producer for this program is Elias Abad. Thank you very much. We appreciate you. Well, until we meet again, anytime from now, we carry the SLPP convention to Una. So, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and follow the page for notification because we actually go look for bring to you the information them where they come out of that particular convention day. So until then, we meet again. My name is Semepe, the Freedom Fighter. God bless you, country Sierra Leone, where we call we are. Thank you very much, Lawrence. God bless you and get yourself a good day.
Yeah, bro.